Okay, I am back with another IVF update. I have started my journey, I guess. So 2023, your journey everywhere. But for my second frozen embryo transfer, last week I had my consultation, and then today I had my first ultrasound. So I'm only doing a frozen embryo transfer, which means I'm not stimulating my ovaries. I'm not doing a million needles. I'm only doing like 50 needles. And I'm not fertilizing eggs. So you won't get all that. So if that's what you're looking for, you probably have to look for someone else's video. Okay, so I got an entire printout of everything that I went through in my last cycle. Look how long it is. 5 pages. I'm not going to turn it the other way because it's probably going to have personal information on it. Look, that's all my embryos. All 18 of them. Okay, so some of the questions I had. I don't remember all the questions I put in the previous video, but I think that once I talked through everything that I talked to my doctor about, I'll probably get through all of the questions that I had. You guys know one of my questions was transfer dates. So her transfer dates are May 15th through May 24th for the month of May. That's when I want to transfer. One more thing. First off, I think that my doctor is probably the best RE there is. And she has a miracle cycle. So I don't know, you can freeze it and read it, but pretty much this is where you do 1 stim cycle. So stimulating your ovaries, the shots every day, and you collect those eggs at the end of your stim cycle. You will freeze them. You do not fertilize them. Then you go into another stim cycle, and you go into another stim cycle, and instead of freezing those eggs once they're collected, they thaw the first set of eggs and fertilize both sets of eggs together. And then, and they use ICSI. So if you're not familiar with ICSI, ICSI is where they kind of look at each sperm and they'll pull out the ones that they think are, moving at the proper rate, they're healthy, whatever. They put them into an egg, they fertilize the egg. So it's not like they're just allowing the sperm to find the egg on its own. They're doing it for you. And then they send them all for PGS testing. So you're not paying twice for ICSI and you're not paying twice for PGS testing. So that is the miracle cycle. If you're interested, contact my doctor at the New Hope Center for Reproductive Medicine in Virginia Beach. All right, so at my appointment, I'll start with from the top. So before I even got to my appointment, I don't know, a nurse, someone contacted me or called me that morning to ask me a few questions. When was my last cycle? What cycle day I'm on? Am I taking any medications? What questions will I have for the doctor? So I kind of told her that information. If you watch my last vlog, you'll see that I was spotting after my last period. So when I thought that I would have not been bleeding for my consultation, I was spotting. So I told them that information. With that let me keep going in order. So all of that information, I told them I wanted to know about transferring 2 embryos. I wanted to know the odds of embryos splitting. I wanted to know about a natural cycle or a natural transfer. And so she wrote all those things down so that she could tell my doctor, and my doctor could kind of think of, I don't know, what she was going to say prior to me getting there. Or probably how the appointment goes. I'm sure if there's an overbearing patient, they'll have 50 million questions and she'll realize that's how the appointment's going to go. So my appointment was at 2. It was at 2. I got there at 1:35. I checked in. I had to sign releases and stuff. So I sat down, started signing releases, almost immediately got pulled back to the office, got my weight. So I also talked about this in my last vlog that I thought that, okay, no, when I was going for my appointment, I knew I had lost a significant, like a good amount of weight. But before that, I was still like in like the 150s, and that's not my like normal weight. So like if I'm eating what I want, moving the way I want, everything, I'm not usually in the 150s. I'm usually like high 140 or high 130s to mid 140s. Like that's like where I usually am. So I was 146, and looking at my paperwork from last time, I was, I want to say 145. Yep, so last time I was 145, so 1 pound heavier than my pre-pregnancy weight. That was June 1st, 2020. So that's actually also after, oh, that's right before I did stims. I was going to say after stims, because I think that you kind of like gain weight, even if it's just bloating during stims. So 145 after or before stims in 2020, and 146 last week. My BMI was a 26.5, and my BMI this time was a 26.7. So then I went into the office. They took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was high, I think, because I was stressed out. That's also why I think I was spotting. So I think it was like all going hand in hand. It was like 140 something over 90 something. And that just made me freak out a little bit more because I don't want to have a high blood pressure. And Bachelor's on over here. I don't really watch, but whatever. So that's why I keep looking that way if I keep looking. Two girls are fighting. But so what else? So I completed my paperwork. I waited for the doctor. It took a while because my doctor likes to give everyone like their amount of time. So I mean, I didn't feel any type of way because I didn't have anything else to do that day. And also, I got the same amount of time. Like, she took her time with me. We spoke for like an hour. So then she came in, and she was so excited to see me because I'm her favorite patient. So if anyone else goes to New Hope for reproductive medicine, hate to break it to you, but I'm her favorite. And she answered all of my questions. So, the odds of an embryo splitting is about less than 3%. She does not recommend me transferring 2 embryos, which I'm perfectly fine with because I cannot process like triplets, quads. Like like I can't even picture my life like that. So it's fine, whatever. We'll transfer 1 embryo. A natural cycle. She said, why reinvent the wheel? We know exactly what we did last time and it worked perfectly with no issues. So why reinvent the wheel? I'm perfectly fine with that. I just wanted to know like what she thought. And I trust my doctor. So I was literally just asking her opinion. If she was open to trying it, I was open to trying it. What's next? Yeah, so that was pretty much just the consultation. I did blood work at the end. I'll kind of talk about pricing considering I'm doing self-pay this time. Last time I used Progeny. So I had blood work done. Let's see what blood work I had done. That's not it. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so I had my A1C tested, TSH for thyroid. There's a drawing fee, which is, wait, 1, 2, 3. $4, not bad. Hematocrit, hemoglobin, ALT and AST, vitamin D, and that's it. So after taxes, it was about $85. You can see that. And actually, that's another thing. They wrote me a little note that if I talk to the phlebotomist prior to my blood being drawn, I can automatically get 60% off. So if you're doing self-pay, talk to your clinic and see if they have anything where if you're asking prior to a service, you get any type of discount. So it was originally like $200 some, and I ended up only paying $85. So that's good. And then that was pretty much it. I didn't almost pass out. So on the day of my consultation, I did have my blood drawn. Like I said, I had not eaten. I only had a Starbucks. And I was like, the first time I gave blood when I was 16, I passed out. So let's see if you guys have like any snacks or something so I don't pass out, so I can have something on my stomach. They only had a Sprite. So I had Starbucks and a Sprite prior to my blood draw. I thought that raised my A1C. My A1C is not elevated in terms of the number, but it's kind of like higher than I would want it to be. So it's almost at pre-diabetic or pre-diabetes stage. I don't know. And so that's something that I need to work on. The only other thing that was outside of range was vitamin D. Last time I was on 50,000 IUs per week as well as 5,000 a day. This time I'm being prescribed just the daily vitamin D. Yeah, so that's that for my first consultation, or my consultation. Then I had my first ultrasound today, and that was a pelvic anatomy scan. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And that was with Wanda. And if you guys have ever been through IVF, you know who Wanda is. She's probably not your friend, but you still see her sometimes. So I went in today. I checked in. I arrived like 20 minutes early. I checked in. I sat for a second. Oh, I forgot to give Sloan her lollipop. I always get her a lollipop when I go in. And then I go back. I got weighed. I was like 147 today. They brought me back to the room, asked me to get undressed from the waist down. The ultrasound tech came in. We like chit-chatted. She used Wanda. Wanda's the wand, not the on your stomach one. I talked to the nurse practitioner afterwards, and she kind of went through everything that I need to know prior to my transfer. So she asked if I had polycystic ovaries. She's a new practitioner from last time. Last time it was Jan, this time it's Whitney. So I said yes, because I do. You could tell on the ultrasound. It was like, if you have, what is it called? Is it like trypophobia or trypophobia, whatever it is? It's gross, but you probably do not want to see, if you have like a bunch of follicles in your ovaries when you do IVF, you probably don't want to look at the screen because it looks disgusting. It's little bubbles, like holes everywhere. But that's what my ultrasound always looks like because I have polycystic ovaries. So confirm that for her. Yes, I have polycystic ovaries. With my, it's not elevated, but it's higher than anyone. I don't know. I would like it. They would like it, whatever. But all of my as far as I know, all of my doctor's patients go on metformin. So I'll be starting metformin. That was sent to the pharmacy, as well as vitamin D. And you guys, metformin is not fun to take. I literally said, okay, I'll be on the toilet every 5 seconds. And she was like, yeah. It's not fun. So I'll be taking the metformin. Today, my pelvic anatomy scan was $582. So as of now, how much have I spent? I don't know. I'll calculate it and put it somewhere on here. And then at the start on cycle day 1, so when my period starts, I need to schedule a sono HSG, which is a sonohysterogram. And that is when they dilate, I think they dilate your cervix a little bit. And then they put saline inside. They do an ultrasound. I believe this ultrasound is on the surface. And they look to see if there are any growths inside the uterus. Last time I had 3 polyps and I had to get those removed. I've said this a million times, but they contributed to my miscarriage in 2019. So we do not want that, especially for an embryo transfer, you know. So the sonohysterogram has to be done between cycle day 6 and cycle day 14. And when I went for my consultation, I was on cycle day 13. So couldn't fit that in. And I will be calling the next time my cycle starts. That price is $1,771, so $1,771. I'm hoping that I don't need much more until transfer, and that being on the metformin and vitamin D is pretty much all I have to do until transfer. With this, I'll take the metformin and vitamin D for 30 days, and we'll do a repeat of the blood work in 30 days. So that's pretty much where I am now. If you guys have any questions about IVF, frozen embryo transfers, anything else, let me see. Let me look through my paperwork and see if there's anything I haven't told you guys about. Oh, okay, so the frozen embryo transfer fee at my clinic is around, it's like between $3,000 and $4,000. So this includes, I'll tell you everything it includes. So frozen embryo transfer cycle includes coordination of care, 1 ultrasound E2 monitor uterine lining, a catheter fitting, thaw and prep of the embryo, embryo transfer, initial beta, and then baseline ultrasound visit. Nice. So that includes everything. I've definitely seen places where it's less expensive, but my RE said that she created this practice to have like a boutique type of care, and that's absolutely what you get. Like, I don't personally feel like a number. And then medication for this cycle will be between $500 and $1,750. So that is it. I think that's everything until my next update. I don't want to update every single time I like have something, because I don't think it'll be very like informative. It's almost like, I don't know, unnecessary. But if you guys follow me on my Instagram, I will try and update like with smaller things that are happening, and then like when the bigger things happen, I'll update here on my channel. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Like I said, literally message me on Instagram. I really don't care. Like, I feel like I respond to all my messages. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this content. See you later. This is my little baby hands.